giving people too many options can be counterproductive. Because what happens a lot of times when people have too many things to choose from, they get stressed, they get anxiety, and they end up not choosing anything. Costco did a study that if they offer people a lot of different brands of ketchup or mustard or any item in the store, if they offer a lot of the same item, people get overwhelmed and they walk away. And so what they did in this wholesale store called Costco is that they limited the amount of brands of each item to one or two brands so that people don't have much to choose from. And it's interesting, I stand here tonight, I'm very fortunate that I have a lot of options in life. One of the greatest gifts you can have is options, because you are in control of what direction your life goes. I uprooted my life to have more options. I remember when I was getting ready to sell my house and move, I remember I had someone tell me, Sam, you know, you're making a big decision to uproot your life, you know. And I would say that was a good comment, because that's actually a great word to describe a severe change, uprooting your life. Uprooting your life is a violent change. And I don't like to use the word violent. I don't like violence, but to describe the powerful choices that we make and the severity of them, uprooting your life is a violent choice. It causes severe change. And I'm happy I did. I'm happy I sold my house. I'm happy I moved. And now I'm in a point where I have a lot of different options and it's hard to choose. Now, when you've heard me say, when in doubt, don't buy, and I believe that, still do that. You've heard me say that when you're struggling with a choice, use process of elimination. What option really doesn't fit? You just have it available. Because in life, you're going to have a lot of things available to you, but they're really not practical to what you're trying to accomplish. Think about that. Think about what you're trying to accomplish. I think about that. What am I trying to accomplish? To mainly live in Florida, to keep a level of flexibility, and to live below my means. Keep what you're trying to accomplish down to a one sentence. Pluto, $5 super chat, man. God bless you, man. You've been so supportive. He goes, today I dropped off the 2021 Chevy Equinox and picked up a 2021 Ford Edge. I love being a nomad. One day at a time. We are blessed, Sammy. Thank you. Now, thank you, Pluto, man. Shout out to you. Renting a car and living out of a car. I think, again, it's good for a year. I think after a year, you'll be faced with options. You know, renting gives you more options. Buying kind of commits you. Renting is good for the short term. Buying is good possibly for the long term. But I thought about that, like if I get a Class B and if I really needed the DoorDash, could I rent a car? There's some people that do that, but it eats into your profit. You know, it's like $1,000 a month or so. But shout out to you, Pluto. Look, I do think the nomadic life is a good life, especially for the young and able. I do think, like I always tell nomads, like I tell everyone, you got to have an income stream. Try to pick up a second income stream or a third or fourth. And why do I live as a nomad? You know, I wanted maximum options. Why would I even consider changing? And because if I choose an option that has a little more commitment, it doesn't change my core goal. What are your goals? You know, and that's what renting does. Just keep your options open. That's what temporary fix does. Keep your options open. Commitment is hard. Commitment is hard, and it has consequence. You know, so a lot of times we as humans, we kick the can down the road because we don't want to feel pain of the commitment. And sometimes it's wisdom to kick the can down the road. You've heard that saying, like in politics, like it's a bad thing, but you know, sometimes in life, you know, it may be wisdom, you know, because all you're really doing is buying time. You got 80 years or so, the average human life, to figure out, you know, what you want to do with your life. You know, you think about that. Each day that passes, today is another day that passes. You're just closer to death, so your option for time is running out. But let's stay positive. Now, the positive thing is, look, you want to control your life as much as possible. You want to position yourself, especially when you uproot or change your life, you want to position yourself with maximum options. And I would say, even if you're not going through a huge change, you always want to keep multiple options on the table. You will get to a point, then you have to decide, okay, I've simplified things. I've changed. Now, what direction do I choose? Because that's what you're really talking about. That's what I'm talking about tonight. Choosing a direction. Very hard to do. Part of the reason I like the nomad life is because, look, I could just kind of wake up and decide what direction I want to choose. I like it. The flexibility, the freedom is addictive. It's true. Simplicity is addictive. Not choosing can be painful, though, because it lingers. And there's always something lingering in the mind that we want a finality. We want a certainty. Humans have a need for certainty. We want a level of stability. See, when you're talking about your options, what you're doing is talking about making a meal. Okay. And when you make a meal, you're putting in ingredients. This is your life I'm talking about. And you need a little bit of different ingredients. Now, the nomad life, the downsized life, the very simple life that I live, and maybe Pluto and others, and we just have one or two ingredients. Okay. Like I said, I got one car, I got one bag, that's all I have. But is that a recipe for the long term? Not necessarily. Now, is 2 houses, 2 cars a recipe for the long term? And not necessarily. I mean, it's like, it is hard when you're talking about options, because it all goes back to individuality. No one makes the same cake because we all have our own fingerprint. If you have a different fingerprint than your mother, brother, YouTuber, whoever, your child, that means that only you can determine what direction. That's the hard part. People give you counsel, you got to decide. Do people really want a lot of options? See, sometimes, think about that. If you give people more options, or if you create more options yourself by uprooting your life, do you actually create more problems? Do you want more stress of having to choose? Well, I say, look, no matter what in life, you're going to have problems. So when in doubt, you want more options, not less. So never feel bad about having a lot of options. Never feel bad about being indecisive if you've made decisive decisions to get you more options. Because a huge amount of stress comes when you feel like you got no options. You're totally cornered. I don't like that feeling. Tonight's Super Bowl Sunday as I make this. And the quarterback always has an option to call an audible. The coach always goes to the offensive coordinator. What are our options? The game of life. Trying to get into the end zone, trying to score, trying to win a championship, trying to fulfill your destiny, trying to figure out your life. The main thing is, like Pluto said, one day at a time, maintain your health. Manage your time. Live below your means. Let that guide you. Healthy. That's one thing I think about now after I went through a few things in my life, a breakup, obesity, being in bad neighborhoods or doing bad, just being around unhealthy environment, whether relationships, people, whatever. One of the things that helps me choose is I ask myself, is this a healthy thing? Is this a healthy neighborhood? Is this a healthy investment? Is this a healthy... Now, some things are a little bit risky I do that aren't completely healthy, but I at least ask the question. Dave Ramsey's good, but, I don't follow Dave Ramsey 100%, or else I wouldn't be living the life I live. So, again, it goes back to, how do you want to cook your pie? How do you want to make your meal? How do you want to live your life? Well, we're going to live it by showing up and getting through today. We're going to choose to wake up early. And we're just going to go from there. But bottom line, guys, is that's all I have. That's my opening dialogue. Why? Because that's what's on my mind. That's a structured topic. I don't want to stretch it out. I don't have much else to say. I showed up. That's the best I can do. Marcel, shout out to the UK. Hey, Sam. I hope your 5th day of the summer has been awesome. Well, about the 55th. Greetings from Europe, man. Marcel, you hang in there, brother. Spring is coming. I say that a little bit tongue-in-cheek because I know it's a long winter, but got to keep the hope. Got to stay positive. And I've been through the winters of the Northeast most of my life. And summer and spring does come again. Okay. And what I can tell you is the time to actually get intense about life is in the summer. Because, Marcel, what I share with you, and thank you again, Pluto. Marcel, what I share with you, I remember on my journey to choose to uproot my life and to sell my house in New Jersey. In the winter, I was like, man, I don't want to stay in New Jersey anymore. But in the spring and summer, a lot of people say, look, New Jersey's not that bad. And in the beginning of my thought process, I said, well, maybe it's not that bad. And then winter came again. And then summer came for a couple months and the Jersey Shore was crowded. And I said, you know what? The time to get really intense about your life is when conditions are good. The time to make decisions is when you don't have to sometimes. And you have to know that the cycle of life will turn around again. And that's why I said, man, I don't want to go through summer, fall. Well, I do like fall, but I don't want to go through summer, winter, spring. Spring's too cold. I want endless summer. I'll take a vacation in fall, go up north. To me, living the rest of my life in New Jersey was an option. You say, well, what if you didn't have a choice? Well, if I really didn't have a choice, then I just do the best I can. Stay positive, do what I got to do. Now, I understand in life not everyone has the same choices, but you got a choice to do whatever you can do in your abilities, your power. People have a lot more options than they think. They really do. They have a lot more talent than they think. They have a lot more strength than they think. You have to remind yourself of what you've done in your past, pull from your past experience, your past strengths, your past goals, your past accomplishments. Don't undersell yourself. Forward we go. At the end of the day, life is just a series of days. And you're blessed, okay, if you have options. You're blessed if you have your health. You are blessed if you have a healthy environment. You're blessed. Okay. And, life is, we're just kind of like trying to make it maybe a little bit better here and there, but we have to enjoy the moment. We have to avoid perfectionism. We have to avoid being apathetic. We have to avoid anything that's really unhealthy and toxic. Unhealthy, I'll put a little bit of tongue-in-cheek because I know, everyone wants sometimes little sprinkles on their ice cream. Got to have a little risk and a little fun, a little adventure. I live an adventurous life, guy. Come to the gas station, you'll find out. But toxic, I don't think there's ever a good place for that in your life. Toxic should never be an option. If you're faced with a decision to go back to a relationship and it's toxic, that's not an option. See, this just come to me now, and this is probably the best part about the live feed, I would say right here, is that if you're trying to decide what to do, if one of your options is toxic, it's been proven time and time again it's toxic, it's not an option. At least for me, not even on the table. Because life's not worth living if something's toxic. You might as well be dead. What is toxic? Well, toxic is any time when the stress is greater than the joy, the burden is bigger than the blessing, the arguments are bigger than the peace. The physical, the mental, the emotional turmoil destroys your mind, your life. It's never an option to go back to the toxic. Look, it's an option. Do you want to get a Class B? Do you want to get a house? Do you want to live in a car? Do you want to wear a red dress? Do you want to wear a blue dress? Do you want to wear underwear? I don't wear underwear. But it should be never an option to go back to toxic. Well, when do people choose to go back to a toxic relationship? Well, one is, sometimes people are controlled by money. Two is, a lot of times people are controlled by emotion. Three is, it all comes down to if you're not taking care of yourself, you don't have any options. Because if you're not taking care of yourself well, financially, emotionally, and every other way, you can't be independent. There's some exceptions, you know what I mean, though. Paul, what's up, man? I'm looking at Craigslist, parking spot section. I wonder if a nomad should trust Craigslist for sleeping spots. No, not my opinion. Every experience I've had knowing someone from Craigslist has been a complete disaster. So I don't even like the Craigslist website. I don't like people who shop off there or recommend that. So again, to each their own. I have, some people testify that Craigslist has been a blessing to them. To me, Craigslist is like the Dollar Tree in the middle of the ghetto. Okay. Like, you may get some cheap shit. You may get robbed too. Okay. Because what I can tell you guys, Dollar Tree are race suspect, but when it's in a bad neighborhood, guys, it's a disaster. Okay. So, we could lie, but going to the Dollar Tree, okay, at night in a bad neighborhood is like, it's like going on Craigslist and expecting to get a good deal. Good luck. Roberto. Hello, fellow nomad. Roberto. What do you think, Roberto? Class B, travel trailer, Jeep, or Prius? Shout out to you, brother. Keep pushing forward. Thank you for your positive attitude. Thank you again, Pluto, Marcel, Paul. Good to see everyone out there, guys. When in doubt, show up. Just keep pushing forward. You got a million options on what you want to do with your life. Most people will not do anything different. Most people struggle with change. Most people struggle with consistency. They have a great idea. They show up. They're like a bat out of hell. Like someone who takes 2 weeks off. They don't show up consistently. And then they come back to work and they got all these ideas. They want to tell everyone what to do. And then they're going to burn out. And consistency is always the best option. Why? Because that's a good recipe for getting ahead. In the gym, in your job, consistency wins. Okay. And the more you show up to your job, the more options you have with your career. The less you show up, the less options you have with your career. The less options you have with your career, the less options you have with your life. Everything always comes down to these core things, There's some variety of difference. But options really come down to, how you've structured your life. Whether you've uprooted it, or whether you're continuing to repeat the same thing, or you're about to change something. Look, if I change some things, if I go in a little bit different direction than I'm in now, right now I'm in extreme minimalism mode, I will change something eventually here. I may eliminate some options, but for the overall goal of going in the direction of my life I want to. So you go to an extreme direction to make an extreme change. Like that guy told me that one time, uprooting your life is extreme. And then as you go, you're not uprooting. I'm not uprooting my life now. Why would I uproot my life now? I'm kind of, even though I'm not like planted in I'm kind of planted. I'm kind of like not bouncing all over the place in one sense. I'm kind of now steering in a certain direction. Like over the past 4 years, you guys seen that there's been a bouncing around, a volatility to achieve a certain direction. Now even last year I was close to the direction, but the coronavirus was like this curveball and it threw me back into this algorithm of bouncing around again because the whole society shut down. And so now, even though the coronavirus is still out there, things are running somewhat steady. So, look, things can always change, right? Whether it's the coronavirus, whether it's you get laid off, whether, God forbid, you have a health scare, things change. And sometimes that's what makes it change. Sometimes you're not going to change until you're forced to. I didn't really change my health until I got nerve damage, until I felt pain. I didn't really, I was always a worker, but I would say, look, when I was laid off and I didn't vigorously seek work when I was younger, and I waited till my last unemployment check, and when I got into debt, and when I got into that negative cycle, that was a lingering thing in my life, man. That pain, of financial uncertainty said, man, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. And that's why a little bit now you guys see me a little trigger shy, because I've worked hard to get out of that algorithm. And doesn't mean, that you have to live bare bones the rest of your life. But it means that you should reflect on your past, to think about your future options. Because one of the hardest things a human has to do is break a cycle. Very hard to break a cycle. If you look at most people, they're just repeating cycles. Very few people break cycles. Very few. And until you break cycles, you don't have options. Because why? Because you're going to keep doing the same thing. Marcel, my youth and my freedom are blessings. Amen. I've realized that I'm in a toxic situation. I'm sorry to hear that, man. My plan, return to the States. Praise the Lord, man. Streamline my life and doing what I love. Well, Marcel, love to you, man. Marcel, are you single with no kids? Like I said, love to all my people who are married with kids. I know some good people out there. But I want to tell everyone out there as an encouragement. Again, if you're single with no kids, you can get out of any situation. If you take care of yourself well, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. You are your only obstacle when you don't have kids or pets, because it's just you. And when I tell you guys, when you're in a volatile situation, you don't need kids or pets, if you don't already have them. If you have them, you take care of them. You do whatever you got to do. But, we as humans, we compensate for a stress emotion, and we overeat or we overbuy. And that's how we get ourselves being left with no options. Because every pet you get eliminates options. You can't stay here. You can't go there. You can't do this. You can't work here. Every child you have, same thing. You eliminate options. So, it's not a bad thing. I know I'm a little bit, tough on that. But look, I know some great people. They have kids. They work. They're financially fine, etc. So, look, to each their own. You always have to remember, I'm just coming from my perspective. But I do want to make that point that as we add things to my life, even me, I have no kids, but if I add something here, which when I add something, I am decreasing some options. If I buy a Class B, I decrease some options. Okay. If I buy a home base, there's some scenarios where you can keep the same options. I buy a hybrid car or something like that. But again, you go back to, what are your goals? And how do you want to live? Marcel said he's single with no kids, no debts. You're blessed, man. Marcel, if you're young and you're in that position, you can do anything you want, but you still have to wake up early. You still have to have a healthy routine. You still have to brush your teeth at night and floss. You still have to, not overeat before you go to bed. Do all those things. Paul, if a toxic ex-friend owed you money, would you take the money if they expected you to stay in their life? No, I mean, I've had some friendships end kind of a little bit because of money, but I think of the movie The Bronx Tale, which Paul Soprano, you're probably familiar with. What is that? When it comes to borrowing money, when someone doesn't pay you back or if something goes wrong, just forget about it and just move on with your life. Now, to be fair, I have had times where others have borrowed money from me and I didn't get it back. And there's been a few times where I've borrowed money and not fully given it back. So I always tell everyone out there, as painful and as embarrassing as it may be honest, you have to be honest with yourself, because you're never going to grow if you're not honest. You're going to look at the world like you're the only one getting screwed. But everyone, if they're fair, you've screwed other people, maybe not in a bad, malicious way like you got, but to a certain extent. That was always my problem with the men going their own way movement. It was a bunch of men who always complained about a woman did them bad and it destroyed their life. But I guarantee you, even the ugly dude, very immature mindset with a first shooter game profile, even him, I guarantee you there's some fat, ugly girl that wanted to get with him, but he rejected her. So what I'm trying to tell you is you always have to be honest that you have done wrong and others have done you wrong. Now, it's not about keeping score. It's about going forward. Okay. And I hope that kind of answered your question. Good question, Pluto. Sammy, what's the next step now that I have my savings in place and a stable job and side hustles? Good job, man. And maybe I should start looking at land to eventually put an RV on it and slowly start building a home. Well, one is congratulations on the savings, a steady job, and a couple side hustles. That's your foundation. If you always have that, you didn't mention it. Are you out of debt? You didn't mention if you're out of debt. Let me know that. That's a huge thing. I would say I would not recommend buying a house because I think you've only been in California for less than 6 months. So I wouldn't recommend buying a house anywhere until you lived in that state for at least 2 years. It's my opinion, my experience. I think right now, if you paid off your debt and you have your main job, savings, and side hustles, what I would do, you have $5K in debt. Okay, so your next step, don't touch your savings. Don't touch that. But what I would do next is pay down the debt before I do anything, because $5K, you should be able to knock that out in, 6 months or whatever. And then after you pay down your debt, what I would do is, if you make under 125K a year, if you're working for yourself, I would do a Roth IRA. If you don't work for yourself, then as long as you got your 401K going, that would be the next thing, some type of retirement savings. After you've done that, then I would work on buying yourself a car, because it's really not financially wisdom to rent a car for $1,000, or I think you're paying $1,200 a month, more than a short-term period. So one is you've done an excellent job by securing a job. That's the number one thing. Gotta have income. And then side hustles. You got to have something to fall back on if your main hustle doesn't go. And hopefully one of your side hustles plays to your strengths and is a passion, something creative or something inspiring that makes you money. And so the next 3 things for you, never give someone more than 3 options. The next 3 things for you: number 1, pay down debt. Number 2, make sure you got your retirement going. And number 3, buy a car. After that, that'll probably take you into next year. And then once you're into next year, then you can start looking at a home base, because then you'll know California better. And maybe you'll want to live in that area you're in. Maybe you'll want to go to a different part of California. California's a big state. Or maybe you just want to travel. Or maybe you want to stay as a nomad. Maybe you want to get a Class B. Maybe you want to travel out of a Prius. Maybe you want to have a travel trailer. So I would think a house for you and a single person. I don't think you need to focus on that now until you find out definitely where you want to live. Good question, Pluto. I have them listed from smallest to biggest. Okay. Dave Ramsey style. Dave Ramsey helped me. I agree with him on most things. And we'll have them paid off in a few months. There you go. So I would just say focus on that, and then, after that, then like I say, your retirement, and then a car. Because if you put like $2,000 down on a car, you can have a car payment of under $500 a month for a car that's like, $30,000, $25,000. So, that's half of what you're paying now, more than half. Less. If you bought a car, you'd be paying, 50, 60% less than what you're paying now. So then you just increased your cash flow. So yeah, you got to get away from renting those cars in the next few months down the road. And then, like I say, because then the bottom line is, once you have a car, even if you don't stay in that area, you take that car everywhere and you're living out of it. So Now, let me ask you this, Pluto. Now that you've been living as a nomad for a couple months, you've rented several different cars. I'm sure some are SUVs, some are regular sedans. What car could you see yourself buying that's below your means and that would work well for you in the nomadic life? That's my biggest struggle with the Class B, is that the biggest negative is I lose the fuel efficiency, I lose the DoorDash ability, and I lose the sunroof. Those are, things that play with my mind a little bit in a negative way, makes me not want to pick that option. I gain comfort. I gain stability. I lose some flexibility. It's true. The give and the take in life. So yeah, look, when in doubt, obviously keep all your options open. Try to keep it simple. When you're not in doubt and when you have a clear focus because you've been in an area a certain amount of time, you've been at your job for a certain amount of time, you've been doing something for a certain amount of time, then you can, sacrifice some of your flexibility for whatever, more stability and going in the direction that you're happy with. That's all we're trying to do is look, happiness is a moving target. Sadness, depression, anxiety is all part of life. So happiness is not a mainstay. There's no one thing you can do in life to stay happy. Self-care, living below your means, and consistency are the things that ride you through the bad days. That's what we have. Pluto. I like the Chevy Equinox. Okay, that's a good SUV, decent fuel economy, a lot of versatility. You could still DoorDash, Uber. You could certainly camp in there, fully stretch out. Very good car. But Sammy, I noticed many of the newer vehicles have this option that after 30 minutes of running AC, the car will shut off, which is great, and they are not hybrids. I didn't notice that. I didn't know that. That's interesting, brother. Yeah, look, I would say every 3 to 5 years, cars go through a cycle of brand new technology. And that's why they say a car or an RV is a depreciating asset, because, like right now, a car or an RV, it looks like cutting edge, but 5 years from now, there'll be something else, so, that's again, the negative about spending too much money on a car, too much money on an RV. They are a bad investment. They could still be below your means, and my car has been a blessing. It hasn't been a bad investment. If I got a Class B, would it be a bad investment? Depending on how much, yeah. It could still be below my means, though, but you got to be honest. It could be a bad investment. So, not everything is an investment, though. Look, if you want to play life as everything is just an investment, then, you work, you have no debt, you index fund, and that's it. You take no risk. You got to take some risk in life. However, you can't live reckless, take too much risk, and have nothing to show for your life. That's tough too. So, it's the balance that we seek. And it's different for all of us. As I kind of been thinking past few days too, is at least today I'm in more of a calm down mood, and I'm going to focus on, I don't know, just I feel more calm. Any day can get me irate. If I meet a guy in the park, he busts my chops about feeding the squirrels, or something happens with the family, but overall, man, I feel very thankful I feel I'm very fortunate to be in Florida. I feel to find where you want to live, whether it's California, Europe, whatever, that's a blessing to like where you live. That is such a huge, I'm so fortunate. And I try to remind myself when I get anxiety about what to choose. I said, well, look, I got a lot to be thankful for. See, look, it's corny, but we have to go back to when we're really struggling and we get ourselves stressed out with all these options, we have to go back to what we're thankful for. And we have to look back at some of our failures. I look back at some of my failures, or poor decisions, or emotional decisions. And I say, all right, well, I want to try to avoid that as much as possible. And that's why I repeat some of these basic things, because I'm repeating them to myself. I'm staying focused, and that bores some people. Look, some people, they blow with the wind. The focus is not there. Very hard, guys. And that's how I work so hard to get so many options. I'm so, I'm so tightly wound now that it's tough a little bit to unwind. And, that's part of the next step in the journey. Hey, ESP, what's up, ESP? I'm catching the tail end. Well, ESP, shout out to you. Yeah, ESP, just chilling. Overall, it was a good day. How was your day? What'd you cook today? How's life in Airbnb? You watching the Super Bowl? I'm competing with the Super Bowl tonight, guys. Hard thing. But do I show up on a Super Bowl? Yeah, I show up on a Super Bowl. I show up on Thanksgiving. I show up on Valentine's Day. Why? Because consistency is key. And over time, it'll work. And if it doesn't work, you go to something else. Nothing in life lasts forever. Not a car, not an RV, not a friendship. Look, you're blessed if you have some good friends that have lasted a long time. I thought about that today. I said, man, I hope all the people in my life, look, I love everyone. I hope they know that. But I just, I don't know. I'm at a point of no return. I changed my number so many times that I'm not going back to ever being in touch with certain people. I don't have their number. They don't have mine. And that's the way I designed it. Do I want people to reach out to me? No. The day, I'm very grateful for all my friends, past acquaintances. But the days of me going to Super Bowl parties are over. I'm very grateful for the past, though. ESP? No, I'm not into football. Okay. I'll watch the commercials and halftime show later on YouTube. Yeah, I heard that. Somebody was telling me that the Weeknd is going to be on the halftime show. I'd be interested to see that. I don't even know. Do they have the Super Bowl on YouTube? Probably just the highlights, right? I don't think they have the free live game. I haven't lived in a house with a TV in 4 years. So for me, I really, I'm like you. Anything I watch is on YouTube. For me, that's part of the reason, too, I just got my laptop up. That's why you see the glow on my face. I say, man, it'd really be tough for me to see myself in a house. I could see myself living in an RV, but not a house. But you never know. I looked at some houses because that's an option too. It's an option for me to buy a house. That's possible. Because I said to myself, well, again, I want to be in Florida, probably at least about 10 months or so out of the year. I would say September and maybe some October, I want to leave Florida to get out of the height of hurricane season. But I don't even want to leave in the summer. Why? I don't want to go to Jersey Shore. I don't want to go to South Carolina. I don't want to go to Montana. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go to California because I got to cross the whole damn country. I got to go through Texas, through New Mexico. I got to go through all that barren land. Nah, I'm not into that. That's like a whole waste of time. I don't know. ESP says, just the halftime performances usually. Yeah, most of the women just watch the halftime shows. Most of and the commercials. I don't even know though. Are they playing in front of a stand in front of a crowd? Because with the coronavirus, is it still an empty crowd? I don't even know. I haven't been keeping up. Let me know in the comment sections. And where are they playing? I know it's Tampa. Who's playing Tampa and Kansas City? Let me Google that. And let me know if there's a crowd in the stands. I probably can't be, right? Super Bowl. Yeah. Oh, Kansas City and Tampa. Right now, as I make this live feed, Tampa's up 7-3. Shout out to Florida. Who do I want to win Tampa? Why? Because they're in Florida. Now, I can't believe Tom Brady, man. He made it all the way back to the Super Bowl. Even though he's a little bit of a prick, so is Bill Belichick. Shout out to the owner of the Patriots, Bob Kraft, who got a blowjob in Jupiter, Florida from a massage parlor. So, I remember when I used to watch the Super Bowl and I worked in an office, everyone would have a Super Bowl pool. And, depending on what score it is after each quarter, you'd get a certain amount of money. Now I look at that like, not even worth it. You know what I mean? It's like, thank God for that. ESP laughing, not women. My mom is really into sports. What? Well, you're a woman, right? Are you a dude? My sister is into it. Oh, you're talking about, okay. I don't know who's who out there, man. You guys trick me all the time. When my father was alive, he was like me, not into it. Oh, okay. Oh, so you're saying your mom was into sports. Oh, got you. So not all women are not into sports. I got you. And my sister is kind of into it, but your father and you were never into sports. I got it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. I had a couple people, I don't know. They said they were a girl, but then after I got to know them, I think they may have been a dude. It's a little weird, ESP. You said women are into halftime show, not football. No, I got you now. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was trying to understand your comment. ESP, I was thinking about that. It's your family. Your family's still in Alaska? Rest in peace, your father, but your mother and your sister, do you live by them? I always wondered that. ESP, if you want to share, do you live by your family? And what would they think about you living in your car? Did you tell them? Challenger the Welder, man. I've been thinking about you. I saw the AMC stock go down, man. I said, I pray you don't commit suicide, man, because I know that's not easy, man. He goes, decide to buy Yukon, cash out I can, and travel this year. Do it while you can, man. When I quit my job before the summer, account at 1.6 million. How'd you get to 1.6? I thought that shit was down like $6 after AMC crashed. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. But I thank God that you're okay, man, because I was worried about you. I didn't want to say anything because I don't want to make you upset. He goes, you're at 1.6 million. Shit. You could quit tomorrow. I want to talk about this. I got 1.1 shares of TSNP. I'll have to look them up. Challenger the Welder, I just thank God that you're okay, man, because I was seriously praying for you. Because I've been checking AMC ever since you told me you bought that stock. I saw it go down like 40% one day. I said, God, just help him not to commit suicide, because I know how hard that is. I love you, brother, even if you lost everything. You'll be fine. But if you got 1.6, you're doing great. Thank you for that tip, man. I was thinking about that today, Challenger. ESP also says, she goes, I'm all woman, but I'm not going to prove it to you. You damn right. Don't prove it to anyone. You don't make them, don't strip on YouTube. It ain't worth it, ESP. Challenger, $4.99. I got out of AMC at 150K loss. Well, sometimes we take our losses. And bought TSNP quick. Damn, you made 650K? Brother, man, God bless you. I'm just thankful you're okay, man. Because I was worried, man. Well, you did better than I thought. Shit, I thought you were done, man. God bless you, man. Good for you, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Challenger. I was thinking about you, and I was running some numbers myself. I want everyone listening to think about this. I would say, even if you make more than 50K now, $50,000 in the U.S. is about average, right? Average salary. So if you wanted to retire, let's just say you could retire, most people could retire and live off $50,000 a year. So the average human life expectancy is 80. But let's say you're going to live to 100. That would pretty much play it safe. So however you, like I'm 40, right? So this is what I did today. I said, okay, well, I'm 40, and let's say I was going to live to 100. I was going to live 20 years above average life expectancy. How much do I need to have if I wanted to live off $50,000 a year? So $50,000, this is what I did. I'm 40 now, so I'll times 60 more years. So if I made $50,000 for 60 more years, that'd take me to age 100. Then what I would need to retire today without having to worry is $3 million. Okay. And you can adjust that a little bit for inflation and put it in some type of a basic fund. And again, I estimated me working till I live into 100. So I want everyone to do that. Look, if you're 40 years old right now, how much do you need to retire? $3 million. Could you do it on 1.6 like Challenger the Welder? Yeah. Because, that I didn't even consider that, yielding any basically, yielding any yearly return. So, it's just something to think about when you run the numbers, Like, you really don't have to have a fancy investment. That's what I always tell Challenger the Welder, mitigate your risk. If you're up to 1.6 million and you're 50 or whatever you are, you don't need to take that much risk, man. You pretty much just run out the clock. It's like when you're up in the fourth quarter, you don't need to throw a Hail Mary. Just run out the clock, man. Paul, good move, Challenger the Welder. I lost 600K on GameStop, and I'm kicking myself. Well, don't kick yourself, brother. I lost way more than that different times in my life. So, if you get into the stock game, like I say, you got to get into it as it's not your main thing. Okay. You have a main job, you have side hustles. And if you want to play around with stocks, you got to look at it like that. And then you got to learn from your lessons and mitigate risk and take calculated risk. But it's very much a discipline of emotions. It's not easy. Yes, ESP, I don't know if you heard me. Are you still living by your family, or do you not live by them anymore? And what did they think about you living in your car? Did you ever tell them? Marcel, love to you, man. Keep pushing forward. Pluto, thank you again, brother, for everything. And Roberto. ESP says, I bought BlackBerry stock. They still around? It's the stock? Years ago, I gained. Are they still around, ESP? I thought they went, that stock's still out there? Marcel says, $3 million. That equates to 30 years of earning 6 figures. Yeah, well, if you wanted to make, yeah, exactly. If you wanted to make 6 figures, then you cut it in half. But 6 figures for a single person with no kids, you don't have to make that. That's just extra luxury. You can live a comfortable middle-class life for $50K if you're single with no kids. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make more. I want to make more. But I try to give, like, minimum to live a good middle-class life where you can pretty much eat what you want. You're not going to be able to buy whatever you want, but you're always going to have a functional car. You always have a decent place to live, and you always have options. 50K ensures that for a single person with no kids, if you know you're going to get that every year till the day you die, you're going to have enough options to live a good quality life. If you make 100K a year and you have no kids, you're going to live a great quality life, okay? And anything above that, you're just winning, and it's a blessing, and praise the Lord. Below 50K, could you live a comfortable life as a single person with below 50K? Yeah. I think once you get below 30K, I think even as a single person with no kids, hard to make that dollar stretch. You're going to be at the Dollar Tree in a bad neighborhood at like 11 o'clock at night. It's bad look. ESP says, my mother still doesn't know. Really? That's interesting. No wonder you don't show your face on YouTube. I don't blame you, ESP. Yeah, I didn't tell my mother either. I didn't tell my father. Oh, shit. Hold on, ESP. Challenger the Welder got 1.6 million. He about to super chat the shit out of me. He goes, 999 super chat. Yeah, I saved my reputation at work. No, well, one is, Challenger, like I told you, brother, weeks ago, don't worry about what other people think about you. I don't care about that. I honestly, when I saw the stock went down, I just cared about your mental well-being because I'd been there. And I was just praying that you're okay. And that you're always going to keep at least 100 or 200K in a complete money market savings account. Don't even risk it. That way, if you do lose everything that you have in an investment account, you still have that couple $100,000 in your savings and you still have a job. And even if you quit your job, if you still have a couple $100K in the savings and you're single with no kids, you're never going to be destitute because you could always start working something basic again. And you're never going to really go nuts, and that's what I want your well-being to be well. Let's continue to read his comment. He goes, I saved my reputation at work by telling my investment crew to sell AMC. Now, don't worry about them, man. At a loss and buy TSMP. They listened and made up their loss and made tons of money. TSMP will go to $10 to $20. 1 million, 8 figures. Yeah, like I say, I don't buy stocks below $20 a share because they're too volatile, and I don't buy anything that's not in the S&P, and I only do short in and outs, and that's just with a little bit of my portfolio, because I'm at this point in my life, I've mitigated a lot of risk with regards to investments, because I don't want to go through that turmoil, and I don't want to lose money. Now, I don't want to be so passive that I don't make any extra money, but I'm not going to go crazy because I want my well-being and I want stocks to yield a little bit. But if I got a main job, if I got a couple side hustles, and if I'm living below my means, if I can make, a little bit on the side with stocks, that's great. But I don't want to have to force it because I don't know how you've been holding up mentally and emotionally, man. Because that's what, like, when I think about you, I wasn't even thinking about the money. I was thinking about, damn, I hope you're all right, man. And I know what it is. So I want you to focus on that, brother. Whatever your account says, that's great. I hope you become a billionaire. I'm not a hater. I'm a congratulator. But I want you to be okay mentally, emotionally. I don't want every day you're looking at the future market. Every day you're worrying about this stock or your you can't live like that, man. It'll fucking kill you. You have a heart attack, man. And then you know what happens, Challenger the Welder? You know what happens to your money? It goes to someone else. So just be careful, man. I want you to enjoy your life, man. Enjoy your money. Back to the live comments. Kathy. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Kathy. Single with no kids. Does not need much money to live. To live a quality life. Yeah, I totally agree. I would say, good to see you, Kathy. I would say, again, I think bare minimum, you need to make above 30K a year, single with no kids. I think that's cutting it very close. Okay. But I think he can do that. Now, again, if you made $10 an hour, let me do the math real quick. If you made $10 an hour and you work 40 hours a week, 10 times 40, that's $400 a week. There's 52 weeks, so 400 times 52. That's $20,000. If you made $10 an hour, that's $20,000 a year. That's you barely pay your apartment, or even if you're gonna live in a car. If you made $15 an hour, let's see how much that is a year. 15 times 40, 600. 600 times 52, 52 weeks in a year. That's $31,000. $15 an hour for a single person, you're okay. Okay. But you really want to get up to $20 to $25 an hour for a single person. And you can do it. I have my guy stretching here. He worked at Planet Fitness. He made about $18 an hour, and then he worked another hustle at Home Depot. And then if you did some gig economy things, you're right by 50K. So these are numbers that are very achievable for most people if they put a little bit of effort and focus into their life. Good comment, ESP. Yeah, I'm very interested about this. Your family, your mom doesn't know. I didn't tell. My mom found out, but I didn't tell her. She found out eventually. ESP. My sister does know, okay. And she thinks I'm a little wacko. That's all right, your life. But she's supportive. Well, that's good. Well, you're blessed. At least that's good that at least you have support, amongst your family. And like I said, ESP, I'm proud of you. I mean, because one thing that I see from your videos, even though I don't see your face, I see your mindset, is that you're very much a detailed planner. You're very much, you have a focus, you have a discipline, you have a clarity. I'm sure you make mistakes. I'm sure you have depression. I'm sure you experience life. You're human. But, just by you getting in the van and then getting out the van when you saw that, you know what? If I can rent an Airbnb for a few months to mitigate some of this risk of the high temperature, why kill myself? And I agree. Sometimes I'm too extreme with that. And that's why I say, guys, I'm not always right. Sometimes I'm a little stubborn. That's how I am. That's how I live. So, everyone's got to figure out what works for them, but like I say, one thing that it shows that you're willing to adapt and you'll figure it out as you go. Thank you again, Challenger. Thank you, Pluto. Thank you, Marcel, everyone. Paul, BlackBerry was one of the Reddit stocks. They're still around, that stock. That's last week, like AMC and GameStop. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that Reddit thing's a scam. I think there's big money behind that, pumping some algorithm. But, yeah, that's not my game, man. But, again, teach their own, man. I'll never tell someone else to spend their money. ESP, my sister tracks me on Find My Friends app. I heard about that thing. She is always knows, well, that's good, always knows where I am when I'm in the van. Well, that's good. No one knows where I am, hopefully. I try. I'm on the motherfucking Don't Find Me app. I put fake spots where I may be. Yeah, don't find me, motherfucker. I'll find you. All right? That's the app I'm on. Don't worry about where I'm at, motherfucker. I'll find out where you're at. That's the app I like. Nah, I don't trust nobody. That's true. But that's good, just in case, What a disaster. Yeah, guys, I don't know, man. I'm thinking about, what I want to do with this Class B, man. I really like it, man, but I really know it's got some downside. And ESP, I was even thinking today with the Class B and buy a home base. And just move it once a year, for the fall time. I don't know, man. Thinking about it. Because I don't know if I want to get a Prius, man, and just still stealth. I can't believe Planet Fitness is still not 24/7. That's crazy to me. You know? So, yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, I'm still happy. Well, yeah, I'm still happy with the nomad life. But I guess I just, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way to change it a little bit, but still keep a level of flexibility that I like about it. You know, I guess I'm like a human. I want my cake and eat it too. I want maximum flexibility, but I want to add some stability. ESP, have you considered renting a Class B? Nah. For a few months as a test run? It's a good idea, but I'm an all or nothing guy. And I'm not saying that's right, but I'm just saying that's who I am. You know, like I was sharing with you, I give you a compliment. You know, you saw that conditions were tough in Alaska. You said, I'm going to get an Airbnb. For me, I said, I'm going to get another sleeping blanket. Or, you know, I'm stubborn. Like, I'm either all in or I'm all out. You know. Now, I learned with my investments, mitigate risk, etc., so that I have a level of diversity where for the money game, it's spread out differently. You know, but for me, as I look at this nomad life, well, I would say at least car living. For me, it's like I'm not going to waste a dime on renting. Either I'm going to buy something, because to me, once I do a test drive, I kind of know what it is. I know there's going to be some parts about the Class B I don't like. I already know. You know, I already feel it. I know there's going to be some parts I like. You say, all right, well, what about if you don't get the Class B? Well, should I rent a Prius? Nah, once I test drive a Prius, I know that what I gain with a Prius is I gain temperature control, but I still don't have the parking stability that I want. No, you know, I'm still self-parking. So it's like those, you know, what are your problems? That's how you kind of choose what you want to do. Look, my problems right now are temperature control, a safe, legal place to park that I'm happy to go back to. Because one part about the 1,000 Trails package that I'm struggling with, and that's why I recommend if you get the 1,000 Trails, if you get into the 1,000 Trails camping system, get a camping pass for a year. It's like renting for a year before you buy a membership. That's what I told Pluto. You know, the one thing I don't like about, because I was thinking about like if I get the Class B or even if I got a travel trailer or something, just get the 1,000 Trails again, which I liked because it solved the safe, legal parking. And, you know, some of the temperature control, depending on what I do, run an extension cord to my car or buy an RV. But some of those RV parks and some of those campgrounds, they're not bad, but they're not good. So I said, well, should I waste money on that if I'm really not happy with it, or just save up and wait to buy a home base? You know, I don't know, man. I struggle with that a little bit, you know. ESP. Have you I read that. Yeah, that was it. Okay. ESP, what are you going to do next? Are you going to keep the NV200 till the wheels fall off? What's your thought process now? I got almost 200K on the Jeep Renegade. Pluto's renting a car month by month. Challenger the welder, he's probably in a Challenger. Kathy's in Chicago. Paul's in New Jersey. Marcel's in Europe trying to get the hell out of Dodge. I don't blame him. Come to Florida, brother. And Roberto's Florida. I think Roberto, you're in Miami, right? Or you're in South Florida. Yeah, South Florida is for me. Like, I guess that's the main thing. You know, it's like some people, they want to keep traveling. I want the ability to start my car and that's why I like the Class B, guys, because I really don't like the travel trailer. I don't want to have two things, man. Now, I'll be honest with you. I was thinking about if I get a home base, if I got the Class B, then I would get a small little beater car to DoorDash, because then I'm just going to go full, like I'm a suburban guy. You know, like, guys, if I get the home base and the Class B, you're in Miami, shout out to you, Roberto. Shout out to Milano and Emilio, also down in Miami. They live full-time in a Class B in a public park down there, man. Shout out to you, man. I was thinking, guys and girls, I was thinking, man, like, I'm just having fun talking this out with you guys. I was thinking that if I get a Class B and I get an RV lot, then once I settle in, I'd have to do one thing at a time. then get like a little beater car, a little Kia Soul or Chevy Spark or something, probably Kia Soul. And that's it. I'm done. And that way, even though now I have fixed expenses and everything like that, and I don't have a home, I still have like some depreciating assets. But I got the DoorDash option back. You guys know I love Florida till I'm dead, so I'm only gonna travel out of Florida when there's a hurricane. So it's like, why not just fucking, settle in, man? I'm not going out west. You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything. That's not for me. You know what I mean? Marcel says, could you tow a small trailer with a Prius? Yeah, good question. Manolo, I call him Milano. Yeah, Milano sent me a link. There is a small little trailer you could tow with a Prius. I could even tow with this car. But I really don't want to tow something. And if I do tow something, I want to be able to stand up in the thing I tow, and I want it to be fully self-contained. Because one thing, if I'm going to commit financially and emotionally to really upgrading something, I want to have a sanctuary, if I get hurt or sick, that it's a house, whether it's a Class B, whether it's a travel trailer, it's a fully self-contained house, and I don't have to go anywhere. Because why go? I don't want to just go a little bit. If I get something, it has to be self-contained. That's my thought process now as I've been through a little bit of journey. Good question, Roberto. Oh yeah, Roberto's in Miami. Shout out to Miami. I love South Florida, man. Southeast Florida. I love it. ESP. Yeah, I'll keep. She's talking about her MV200 camper van now. She goes, I'll keep it for a while. I won't see the real savings until I nomad for a while. Yeah. Well, again, I want to ask you, I know you've been telling me a little bit. So, you've been how long? You're in the Airbnb till June, right? So you're going to be in the Airbnb for about 8 months now. Can you visually see yourself leaving the Airbnb and going back full time into the NV200 camper van? And do you have a desire to go back full time? I know you like to sleep in it because it's small and cozy, but has this experience in the Airbnb changed your outlook on long-term nomad life? That's an interesting question. Paul, retirement accounts are weird. People keep their wealth locked up until they're old and brittle and can't enjoy it. Now, to some extent, you're right. It's a little bit of a Wall Street scam, but it's the game of life, Paul. I'm not saying you're wrong because you're right. You got to find the balance. You got to pay the piper. All systems have a little bit of a scam. So again, any first world country you're in, whether Europe, America, Canada, whatever, even Saudi Arabia, any first world country, we're blessed. Now, even when we're blessed, does the system still kind of have their hand in our pocket? Of course. So it's just the way the world works, But look, you can take enough out for yourself, and you can even pay the penalty. If you decide you want to cash out your entire 401k tomorrow, you can do it. I've done it before. I did it years ago when I was fuck it, I'm gonna clear out a lot of the mess I got into. Now, if you cash out your 401k or something, you're gonna pay your income tax rate, and you're gonna pay an extra 10%. So the average person, their income tax rate is about 20% federal, probably about 5% state. So 25% is your tax rate for most people. And now if you don't have state income tax, it's 20%. But then you add another 10% as a penalty if you take it out before 59.5. So, worst case scenario, an extra 10% went out the window. What are you going to do? If you really needed it, Let me take my laptop closer. Let me practice for my Class B. I don't know. We'll see. I do feel like a little bit I'm in a home tonight. I don't know, man. We'll see. Where are we at? ESP. I see myself keeping a camper van, even if I get sticks and bricks down the road. So that is a goal and a dream to maybe buy a house down the road. Have you ever owned a house? I know you were married. You probably owned then, right? I like having an escape pod. Yeah, me too. That's why we're similar. That's why I like the, look, even above the travel trailer, that's why I like the Class B, because if the hurricane comes, I don't have to have a tow vehicle. This is what I would do. If a hurricane was coming, I would have an RV lot, my Class B, and maybe a Kia Soul. And if the hurricane comes, I'll leave the Kia Soul. I got insurance. I'll put the Class B. I'm fully self-contained. I'm I-95 North for 2 months. That's a lot of money. We'll see. I'm thinking about it. ESP. But I'm planning to be a nomad long term, with the occasional breaks in short-term rentals. Okay. You don't have to say your exact age because I know like some people don't like shit. What are you in your 40s? ESP. I may leave in April. She's talking about her Airbnb, but no later than June. Yeah, June's late, man. It should warm. Well, April's cold in New Jersey. I remember looking at the weather, man. When I was still up north and I was taking vacations in Florida, and I remember I took a late vacation like in end of March. I came back in April, and I was like, damn, New Jersey's still cold as hell in April. I was so upset, man. Like at the end of May, it finally starts to warm up, but you don't get that same sun as Florida, because Florida's by the equator, man. Nah, man. For me, I want to be in Florida even in the summer, man. Just, and like August, I'll start to look at my travel plans. ESP. Oh, I read that. She goes, I'm used to living in a luxury apartment, I imagine, in the middle of downtown Acreage. I left a nice apartment for a van. I like comfort. I'm not mad. You work hard. You're a smart woman. But I'm also used to camping. Well, you're also from Alaska. You guys like it, natural. ESP. Van life is like glamping to me. I'm not mad at you. ESP. For people who garden in Anchorage, they garden in Alaska? Oh, God. What, 1 week out of the year? You can't really start planting until June. Your summer's over. It stays cold here for a while. Yeah, I don't know how you do it. But I know you love Alaska. So, again, like, I feel bad, man. I feel bad for all my viewers from South Carolina. I know Blanton's living in South Carolina, too. Blanton, you got to get off those damn energy drinks, man. And you got to get the hell out of South Carolina if you want to get your money back. I don't know, man. But everyone likes something different, man. I know I feel bad. I curse New Jersey. I curse everywhere. Look, guys, wherever inspires you, man, you got to find that for you. For some people, it's Alaska. Some people, Kentucky. Some people, Oklahoma. It's like, but that is part of your life to figure out where you like to live, Take hydration break. Thank you, Dan. Thank you again, Pluto and Challenger the Welder for super chats. Thank you to all my members, Marcel, Paul, Roberto, Pluto, love team, man. ESP strong tonight. Challenger the Welder. I'm glad you're okay, Challenger. And Kathy, very positive lady. Paul Soprano's in the building. Yeah, I looked at one home base. That again, it was in like a suspect neighborhood, a little bit of a bad neighborhood. Like what I feel, this property, man, I really love this property. And it's a reasonable price. But here's the thing, man. It's even got like ESP. If I did a video, all you guys would love it. And girls. Because it's a little piece of property. It's got a little grass area. It's got a little garden. It's got a little shack. And everyone, if you saw the video, even me, I look at the video, I say, man, this place is hot. But if I take you up the street, okay, if I take you out at night, y'all gonna be shook. Y'all gonna be locking your doors watching the video. You know what I mean? And, I don't know if I want to do that, man. I don't know, man. We'll see. You're gonna be watching the video locking your doors. That's how scared y'all gonna be. It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's like, it's amazing, man. I remember reading this camping review from this spot in Florida. And I remember this guy wrote the review and he said, man, I've been to this camping spot a couple times and I always hope it'll be different when I come back. Like there's something negative about the energy. And he goes, but every time I come back, it's the same energy. And that's like how I feel with this one spot. Like every time I wish like, man, just be a little bit nicer. But it's just not, and like you can't make it, and it's like, damn, man. If this damn thing was just in a little bit of a different area, man, I fucking snatched that thing up like this, man. It's tough, man. But such is life, you only get so close. So, but I gotta be thankful. ESP. Real estate is all about location. You damn right, laughing. You don't want to live where you'll get Jack going to your door. Yeah, this place ain't even got no door, but like again, I feel like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't feel like I'd be worried all the time. But I mean, I would be on guard, you know what I mean? And if I left my stuff there, I not that I even have stuff. I wouldn't even, but if I left a car there or something, I don't know, man. Something just, I will feel a little bit on edge. And do I want to feel that if I'm going to buy a home? No, you know. Like to me, I've been in all types of environments. I know I'd make it work. And I navigate around the pitfalls of the area because I know how to keep to myself. I know, like, anything can happen. But I'd kind of like, I know how to navigate it. But yeah, I mean, anything can happen. That's the thing. Like, and anything can happen in a good neighborhood. But all I would do is it'd be a little bit more riskier. And do I want to own property in a little, it's like, why even bother then, But this damn thing is it's so cute, man. Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm grateful, man. Like I say, how do you relieve anxiety? Well, count what you're thankful for. There's been times where I had high anxiety because I thought, well, man, I hope I get to Florida before I die. I hope I get this together. And I've gotten a lot together. I went through a lot of pain to get to some things. So that's how I've been trying to remind myself as I review my options, It's like remain grateful and remember, like, give yourself the grace to make the wrong decision as far as, like, even if something I decide isn't 100% perfect, my main goal of being in Florida, and I think I'd be able to sustain it as long as nothing crazy happened. And overall living below my means and living a simple life and keeping flexibility. Overall, even if I make an imperfect decision, barring a catastrophe, nothing really is going to change at a core level that's going to, destroy my life, So I have to remind myself that, as I review all my options. So with that being said, guys and girls, I think I'll leave it at that, man. Shout out to everyone, man. Thank you again, Challenger the Welder, Pluto, all my members, man. I'm glad that everyone sounds like they're doing well. I hope you're enjoying the Super Bowl if you watch that. I may be in a more calm mode, man. Why? Because I feel like I'm settling down, man. We'll see, though. You guys know me. One thing fucking irks me, man. I'm coming in hot next day. And I know some of you guys like when I get real upset. That's all right. I'm an entertainer, guys. That's part of the strip club, man. It's like you don't become a stripper, okay, and then go to Walmart and buy granny panties. No, you got to get the G-string panty. You got to show it. So I know you guys want to see the show. I understand it. So we'll see, man. Just take it one day at a time. But thank you again, everyone. Go from there. Peace.